You couldn't have killed Miss Bourget and Mrs. Otterborn, Mr. Doyle. But you're not entirely innocent of their deaths either. Remember when Louise came to testify? When I asked her if she had seen anything the previous night, she gave this curious answer. Naturally, if I had been unable to sleep, if I had mounted the stairs, then perhaps I might have seen this assassin, this monster, enter or leave Madame's cabin. Now, what exactly did that tell us? Miss Bourget did indeed lie during her testimony, but it wasn't to protect Doyle. Miss Bourget lied when she said she saw nothing. She had indeed seen the murderer, Mr. Doyle, enter Lynette's cabin. But instead of coming to me, she preferred to profit from her knowledge. She tried to blackmail Mr. Doyle. She sent her carefully worded message, and he responded, "You'll be quite all right. I'll look after you."
Secret codes now? Really? Ridiculous. And you're still not answering my question. How could I have killed Louise in the saloon when I could barely walk?
Simon Doyle could have taken a scalpel, hobbled to the saloon, and killed Miss Bourget. But with his injury, it was nearly impossible. Dr. Bessner was stationed outside his door all day, and with his broken leg, it would have taken Doyle an eternity to make the trip without collapsing in pain. It's very simple. If you didn't kill Louise Bourget, then you must have had an accomplice.
An accomplice? Are you accusing me?
No, that's not correct. Come on, you can do it. Unfortunately, this can't be right. No, this isn't it. Think. No. This can't be the right solution. This accomplice can be none other than Jacqueline de Belfort.
What? I beg your pardon? You're insane!
As I say, it was a very cleverly planned and well thought out piece of work. It could not be chance that Simon Doyle had a bottle of red ink in his pocket. No, it must be design. It was not chance that he had a plain unmarked handkerchief with him. It was not chance that Jacqueline de Belfort's foot kicked the pistol under the settee, where it would be out of sight and unremembered until later.
So you truly believe that Miss de Belfort and Mr. Doyle are accomplices?
Certainly, the two halves of the murderer. What gave Simon his alibi? It's the bullet that Miss de Belfort fired into Mr. Doyle's leg that provided him with an alibi. Even if left alone, he wouldn't have been able to crawl to his wife's cabin to kill her. But Miss de Belfort didn't actually hit Mr. Doyle with that shot. He pretended to be injured, so crawling wasn't necessary. Now let's move on to the shooter. What gives Jacqueline de Belfort her alibi? Mr. Doyle was insistent that Mr. Balfour was never to be left alone from the moment of the gunshot until this morning. That gave her a rock-solid alibi for the murder of Mrs. Doyle.
There, between the two of them, you get all the qualities you require. The cool, resourceful planning brain, Jacqueline de Belfort's brain, and the man of action to carry it out with incredible swiftness and timing.
Look at it the right way, and it answers every question. Simon Doyle and Jacqueline had been lovers. Realise that they are still lovers, and it is all clear. Simon does away with his rich wife, inherits her money, and in due course will marry his old love. It was all very ingenious.
The persecution of Mrs. Doyle by Jacqueline, all part of the plan. Simon's pretended rage. Then one night, on this boat, I thought I heard Simon and Lynette outside my cabin. He was saying, "We've got to go through with it now." It was Doyle, all right, but it was to Jacqueline he was speaking. The final drama was perfectly planned and timed. There was a sleeping draught for me, in case I might put an inconvenient finger in the pie. There was the selection of Miss Robson as a witness, the working up of the scene, Miss de Belfort's exaggerated remorse and frenzies. She made a good deal of noise in case the shot should be heard. In truth, it was an extraordinarily clever idea. Jacqueline says she shot Doyle. Miss Robson says so. Mr. Hayashi says so. And when Simon's leg is examined, he has indeed been shot. It looks unanswerable. For both of them, there is a perfect alibi. At the cost, it is true, of a certain amount of pain and risk to Simon Doyle. But it is necessary that his wound should definitely disable him. But then, the plan goes wrong. Someone sees Mr. Doyle enter his wife's cabin. Louise Bourget has been wakeful. She has come up the stairway, and she has seen Simon Doyle run along to his wife's cabin and come back. So she makes her greedy bid for hush money and, in so doing, signs her death warrant.
But Mr. Doyle couldn't have killed her.
No. The other partner did that murder. As soon as he could, Simon Doyle asks to see Jacqueline. He even asks me to leave them alone together. He tells her of the new danger. They must act at once. He knows where Bessner's scalpels are kept. And still, all is not well. For Mrs. Otterbourne has seen Jacqueline go to the saloon, and she comes hot foot to tell Simon about it. Jacqueline is the murderess. Do you remember how Simon shouted at the poor woman? Nerves, we thought. But the door was open, and he was trying to convey the danger to his accomplice. She heard, and she acted like lightning. She remembered Pennington had talked about a revolver. She got hold of it, crept up outside the door, listened, and at the critical moment, fired. She boasted once that she was a good shot, and her boast was not an idle one. I remarked, after that third crime, that there were 3 ways the murderer could have gone. I meant that he could have gone aft, in which case Ferguson was the criminal. He could have gone over the side, very improbable. Or he could have gone into a cabin. Jacqueline's cabin was just 2 away from Dr. Bessner's. She had only to throw down the revolver and bolt into the cabin. It was risky, but it was the only possible chance.
So you killed my mother, you filthy witch!
Rosalie, no. I understand, but attacking her isn't the answer. Come on. How can you listen to the ramblings of this old fool? His entire grand theory is based on the fancies he's made up out of whole cloth, without a shred of evidence.
You might hope it is so, young man. You insist more proof is needed? You hope Poirot is a doddering old fool? Then by all means, let's allow someone else to dodder some. Miss Royce, if you would.
No, that doesn't work. You can do it, Jane. Oh, do it for Emmy. This can't be the right solution. With pleasure. The irrefutable proof is tiny, but look here. You can see that the wood is damaged, and the bullet that caused it is still lodged in the hole. I'm sure forensics will prove that it's a .22 caliber cartridge fired from the murder weapon. This is the bullet Mr. Belfour shot at Simon Doyle. It ended up in the wall, not in his leg.
Damn you. Damn you both. Our plan was perfect. It took 2 meddling detectives to work it out. Jackie and I were going to be rich and happy. We deserved it.
And we derive the penalty for our failure. Simon, darling,
Let me speak. You were too clever for us, Mr. Poirot. That night, at Aswan, you told me not to open my heart to evil. Did you realize then what was in my mind?
I only knew that what I said was true.
It was true I could have stopped then, you know. I nearly did. I could have told Simon that I wouldn't go on with it. But then perhaps... Would you like to hear about it? From the beginning?
If you care to tell me, mademoiselle.
It was all very simple, really. You see, Simon and I loved each other.
And for you, love would have been enough. But not for him.
You might put it that way, perhaps. Simon always wanted money so dreadfully, and all the same, he never tried to marry anybody rich and horrid. He wasn't that sort. And then we met. Our love was obvious from the first glance. We were broke, but we wanted to get married. There we were, up against it. And then I thought of Lynette. It might make all the difference to me and Simon if she'd give him a job. It was about then that you saw us that night at Chez ma tante. You know, Mr. Poirot, I loved Lynette, really I did. She was my best friend, and I never dreamed that anything would ever come between us. But she went all out to get Simon away from me. I don't think she even hesitated for more than about a minute. I was her friend, but she didn't care. She just went bald-headed for Simon. That's why I'm not really sorry about her, even now. And Simon didn't care a damn about her. But he did like the thought of her money. Of course I saw that. And at last I suggested to him that it might be a good thing if he got rid of me and married Lynette. But he scouted the idea. He said, money or no money, it would be hell to be married to her. He said his idea of having money was to have it himself. He talked about it a good deal one way and another, about how convenient it would be if Lynette died. I said it was an awful idea, and then he shut up about it. After a bit, I saw that he'd made up his mind, and I was terrified. Simply terrified. Because you see, I realized that he'd never pull it off. He'd have no kind of subtlety about it. And he's got no imagination. So I had to come into it too, to look after him. I thought and I thought, trying to work out a plan. It seemed to me that the basis of the idea ought to be a kind of two-handed alibi. You know, Simon and I could somehow or other give evidence against each other, but actually that evidence would clear us of everything. It would be easy enough for me to pretend to hate Simon. It was quite a likely thing to happen under the circumstances. Then, if Lynette was killed, I should probably be suspected. So it would be better if I was suspected right away. We worked out details little by little. Even then, Simon went and wrote a J in blood, which was a silly, melodramatic thing to do. It's just the sort of thing he would think of. But it all went off fine. And then there was Louise.
Yes. It was not your fault that Louise Bourget could not sleep that night.
That miserable Frenchwoman tried to blackmail us. I pretended to grovel. I took her all the money we could get hold of. And then, when she was counting the money, I did it. It was quite easy. That's what's so horribly frightening about it. It's so terribly easy. And even then, we weren't safe. Mrs. Otterbourne had seen me. I'd no time to think. I just acted like a flash. It was almost exciting.
Love can be a very frightening thing.
That is why most great love stories are tragedies. Don't mind so much for me, Monsieur Poirot. After all, I've always lived hard, you know.
Jackie, I ruined everything. I'm sorry for it all, my love. If I had known all this before,
It's all right, Simon. A fool's game, and we've lost. That's all.
Look out! She took my gun!
Adieu, mon amour.